So let's continue. This is exactly how composting works. So as we said, plants feed the family. So as you can see here, the George is eating an apple. And when he eats the apple, after he takes the apple core and the potato peels and the eggshells and banana peels, and George puts all this food waste into the compost heap. What happens is that the soil creatures called worms turn the garbage, the food waste, into compost. So they eat all that food and then they change it into compost, which then can be changed into soil, and then this soil is used to feed the plants. So you give those to the trees and the plants, and then they make more vegetables and fruits, and then you get more plants that feed the family. So it's like a cycle. So it says recycle. In nature, plants feed animals and animals feed plants. No waste, no problem. So composting is really great. If you have some space or you have a big garden, you can have a compost heap and you can put all the vegetable peels and the fruit peels, and like if you have a rabbit, you can put the poo-poo inside, and also some leaves and newspapers, all those kind of things, and it makes a really healthy soil for your garden. Now, let's go into town, said Grandpa, and do some recycling. But we haven't got our car today, said George. So, said Grandpa, let's just take the bicycle. Taking a bicycle is better than taking a car. That helps to save the planet. Do you know why? Because when people use cars, it uses gas, okay? And gas, it creates a lot of pollution, a lot of smog in the air. But when you use a bicycle, all you do is that you pedal and then it moves. So it doesn't use any gas, and so it's way better for the environment because it does not make any pollution. So exactly, over here is the car, and when you use a car, there's an exhaust here, and that's where all the pollution comes out. So it's not great for the planet. Once they were in town, they went to the charity shop. It was so much fun that George almost forgot that he was actually saving the planet. Say goodbye to your old clothes and books, said Grandpa. So Grandpa took all of George and Flora's old clothes and books and they gave it to the charity shop. And then what's going to happen, look at all these old clothes and books. Other people are going to come and then they're going to buy those old things and use it again. What a great idea. So the little sister Flora was looking at some of those old clothes at the charity shop, and she actually found a new dress. Hello, fancy new dress, she said. So at the charity shop, this used to belong to another girl, but the other girl didn't want it anymore, and so now Flora found it. She loves it, and so she's going to buy it, and that is a great way to reuse old things. And meanwhile, at the charity shop, hey, said George, I found something inside this box that I could use at home. Did you see what he found? He found 2 wheels that he can put on his broken car so that he can repair it after. So, reuse. When you take all your old things to a charity shop, your toys and your clothes can be reused. And the money goes to people who need it. So usually with charity shops, sometimes they donate, meaning they give that money away to people who need it, like people who are at hospitals, or even the old toys, they can give it to the other children who don't have any toys to play with, or who are at the hospital to make them feel better. So that is a good way to reuse our old things. Next up, the recycling center. Crash, tinkle, crunch. George was having so much fun smashing the glass into the bottle bank. So now none of this is going to be wasted, said Flora. No, said Grandpa. It's all going to be turned into useful things again. So this is an example of recycling. This is what happens. Well, when you give your old glass bottles and jars to the recycling center, the glass is going to be broken down into small, tiny pieces and melted down to make more bottles and other glass things that are new. So this is how it'll look like. Then over here, the plastic things. So for example, your old milk jugs and also your old bags. Some plastics can be recycled to make plastic bags, cups and plates, and even some of them can be used to make clothes. So wow, plastic is actually quite useful and can be made into many different things. And finally, we have cans. So metal cans can be melted down and used again. So the old metal cans are melted down and made into new cans. And last but not least, paper. So all that old paper that you don't use anymore, they change it into pulp, which is kind of like a really wet paper, and they turn it into new material to keep houses warm and also bedding for your pets. So look out for things that are recyclable, because if it's recyclable, then it means that it is made from other materials that were recycled. On the way home, Grandpa George and Flora called in on the farmer's market. "Can we take a break from saving the world now?" asked George. "I want to eat one of those yummy strawberry tarts." "Don't worry," said Grandpa, buying 4 of those tarts. "Eating these strawberry tarts helps to save the world too." "Ah, do you know why would eating these strawberry tarts help to save the world? Do you know why?" Well, it's because you can reduce the distance that things have to travel. So when you buy fruits and vegetables at a farmer's market, it means that those fruits and vegetables have been grown locally. So when we say grown locally, it means that it's grown not really far away in another country like Spain or Portugal or in I don't know, in like Africa or wherever. It's basically basically grown or made not far away, so in France somewhere. So we should be eating more vegetables and fruits and things that are grown locally, because it means that they haven't traveled thousands of miles and using lots of petrol and gas to come all the way to us. So they're fresh and they are better for you, and you're helping people in France who are growing vegetables and fruits. So it's a good idea to eat locally. So as they're at the farmer's market, all these things are grown in France, so it is better to buy things that are made in France than somewhere else. So that is also saving the planet. And then finally, it was lunchtime. Mummy said, "I hear you've been busy saving the world while I was gone." "Yes," said George. "Grandpa helped us. He is a world-saving super grandpa." "And we did this all in one morning," said Grandpa. "Whew, I'm tired. I think I need to take a rest this afternoon." So here's Grandpa and Mom and Flora and the dog and George all settling down for their lunch. So let's see what they're eating for lunch. It seems like they're going to have some cheese, those locally made strawberry tarts, some fruit like bananas and apples. They have some butter. Oh, Grandpa's holding onto a big salad. And I think they're going to have some yummy bread as well. So these are George's tips for saving the planet. So reuse. These are some examples of things to reuse, like old clothes. You can give them to a charity shop, or you can reuse an old yogurt pot by planting something in it or using it as, like, I don't know, a pencil holder, things like that. Old buttons and toys, you can also give them to somebody else to play with, or they can give it to a charity shop. More things here. There are so many things. For example, here you can give old boots away. There are so many things here that you can do to help and save the planet.